There is a lot of money that goes in filmmaking apart from the creativity and the hard work off force. And that is why when the movie is released, the producers have so much to lose or gain from it. While there are close to 1,000 movies released in Hollywood every year, not every movie turns out to be profitable for the producers. Some provide massive gains, while with some, the investors stand to lose money overall. Today we are going to have a look on the top 8 Hollywood flicks that tanked at the box office and actually lost money, even despite some of them having a great star cast and concept. 1. Hellboy 2019. Hellboy, a supernatural being, protects the Earth with the Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense. Soon he faces the Blood Queen, an ancient witch who wants to bring about the end of the world. While the concept sounds intriguing to say the least, the movie in itself didn't turn out to be that great, to be honest. A soulless reboot made only to cash in on the superhero craze. This Hellboy was a well-deserved failure. Lionsgate executives decided to make a reboot of the franchise without the pair who made the original Hellboy films so damn enjoyable. Production was said to be full of studio interference and even internal spats, while critics and fans lambasting the film when it was released. According to estimates, the budget including marketing cost for the film was around $85 million, while it was able to gross only $60 million worldwide, thus losing at least $25 million in the process. 2. Black Widow 2021. Black Widow is one of the biggest films produced in the pandemic-inflicted year. The film starring the beautiful Scarlett Johansson is produced by Marvel Studios, is distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures, and is the 24th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU. Set after the events of Captain America Civil War, 2016, the film sees Romanoff on the run and forced to confront her past. The plot seems to be intriguing, and so is the movie as a whole. Natasha Romanoff must deal with her history as a spy and the broken relationships left in her wake long before she became an Avenger. Although the story is interesting and well executed, the movie's prospects were marred due to a huge legal battle involving the leading Lady Scarlet and the movie producers Marvel Studios. The star filed a lawsuit against the production company alleging huge loss of money due to Marvel Studios' decision to release the movie simultaneously on both the big screen and the OTT platform. Several sources close to Scarlett told the media that the simultaneous online release of Black Widow resulted in losses of $50 million for ScarJo alone. The movie itself was actually pretty good, even if we hate what they did to Taskmaster. 3. First Man 2018. Based on the story of Neil Armstrong becoming the first man to go to the moon, First Man stars Ryan Gosling as the famous astronaut and Claire Foy as his wife. The reviews were generally quite positive, with an 88% fresh and an average critic rating of 8.1 out of 10 from Rotten Tomatoes. But even the more positive reviews often emphasize that the picture was not a sweeping, crowd-pleasing, or overly emotional melodrama. The ensuing outcry was over Gosling's response, arguing that Armstrong didn't necessarily see himself as an American hero, led to a silly narrative claiming that First Man contained no American flags. Reportedly, tons of potential moviegoers stayed away because the film didn't show Neil Armstrong planting the flag on the moon. Even the articles that explicitly debunked the story kept this in the news cycle and billed it as the defining narrative for the film. Reportedly, it ultimately had a big impact on the film's prospects, which is too bad because the film from Oscar-winning director Damien Chazelle, who also directed La La Land, is quite brilliant, and it has a final scene that is just breathtaking. 4. The Mummy 2017. In the movie, after Sergeant Nick and Corporal Chris call an air strike on an enemy stronghold, they stumble upon the tomb of Princess Amenet. The princess is set free and Nick has to fight for his life. This action-adventure film, directed by Alex Kurtzman, was supposed to kick off an MCU-style film series for Universal. These Dark Universe films would use old monster characters, including the Mummy, Wolfman, Frankenstein, and Dracula. It was a big surprise for the executives at Universal when this movie came out, and audiences were blown away by how bad it was. The idea behind these movies seemed foolproof, especially with Tom Cruise leading the way in another franchise-friendly series like Mission Impossible films. But according to the critics, the film can't decide what it wants to be other than a Tom Cruise vehicle. In the process, The Mummy lost almost $100 million. 5. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows 2016. This 2016 film is a sequel to the 2014 film Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and was expected to be a blockbuster hit like the original reboot, which grossed $493 million worldwide. Paramount Pictures and two Chinese companies bankrolled Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows to a robust $135 million budget, plus an expensive marketing campaign. The movie's producers legitimately sound like they made something that they were proud of and were confused with the film's not-so-impressive theatrical showing. The critics said about the movie that it is strictly popcorn entertainment, which is good, while it lasts but offers nothing to take back home. With a hefty $135 million budget, TMNT 2 will rely heavily on its foreign grosses to recoup its budget. But even with $245.6 million in ticket sales, The Hollywood Reporter estimates the TMNT sequel lost $75 million after accounting for worldwide marketing. 6. Green Lantern 2011. Hal Jordan, a test pilot, acquires superhuman powers after being chosen by the Ring. However, with the powers come the responsibility of defeating the evil Parallax, who is set on destroying Earth. However, the movie did create a decent buzz before release and even during it. Still, it can be said that the action-slash-adventure, film starring talents such as Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively was an overproduced, fumbling, idiotic movie that could have made money had the budget not been so overblown. It's surprising that the movie made as much as it did. Even Ryan Reynolds, who played the Green Lantern, knew the movie was going to stink up theaters worldwide, saying that the film fell victim to the process in Hollywood, which is like poster first, release date second, script last. 7. X-Men Dark Phoenix 2019. After a mishap, Jean Grey is struck by a powerful ray of energy, which she absorbs into her body, turning her into an uncontrollable liability for the X-Men. This is the plotline of the superhero film, which ran on the premise of an extremely successful franchise. As such, it was also touted to do well at the box office. Only, it did not. The critics called this film the most pointless addition to the X-Men series. Dark Phoenix was always meant to be the end of Fox's X-Men franchise, but studio executives weren't expecting it to be the final nail in the coffin. The film cost $200 million to make, excluding marketing costs, and drew a pitiful $65.84 million domestically. In fact, the movie lost the most money of any movie released in theaters in 2019 and ultimately cost the studio more than $100 million. The film's poor performance was a blow to 21st Century Fox, which is now a Disney-owned studio. A press release from Disney reported that the studio's losses were driven by the performance of Dark Phoenix. Disney executives on an earnings call said they were going to consolidate and to cut back on the number of releases so as to focus on the kind of release that we hope would come out of that studio, according to The Hollywood Reporter, which basically means we need to make sure 21st Century Fox doesn't pump out any more crap. 8. Tomorrowland 2015. Frank, a former inventor, and Casey, a curious teenager, embark on a dangerous mission to unravel the secrets of Tomorrowland, an unexplored dimension in time and space. Disney's sci-fi fantasy Tomorrowland had a wonderful star cast in George Clooney and Hugh Laurie, but it also had a huge marketing budget, which the New York Times estimated it cost at least $280 million in total that stretched over 2 years, which included a Super Bowl commercial and theme park rides. But the film was met with average reviews and never managed to reach its family-friendly audience, who were confused by the movie's vague marketing. Made with a $190 million budget, the movie incurred losses in the tune of $82.6 million to $163 million. So these are some of the Hollywood's biggest blockbusters to lose money despite being good movies. This is all in today's video. See you next time.